Have you ever wondered what happens to real estate investors' assets after they pass away? It's a question that many people may not consider, but it's important to understand the implications. When a real estate investor dies, their assets will typically be passed down to their heirs or beneficiaries as outlined in their will. This means that the properties they owned will be transferred to the designated individuals, who then become responsible for managing and potentially selling the assets. If the investor did not have a will in place, their assets will go through probate, a legal process where the court determines how the assets will be distributed. This can be a complex and time-consuming process, leading to potential delays and complications for the heirs. In some cases, the assets may need to be sold to cover any outstanding debts or taxes owed by the investor's estate. It's important for investors to have a plan in place for their assets to ensure a smooth transition for their loved ones. Here's a general overview of what happens to real estate investor assets after their death. Number 1, the probate process. If the investor had a will, their assets will go through the probate process, during which a court will oversee the distribution of assets according to the terms of the will. If there is no will, the assets will be distributed according to the laws of intestacy in the jurisdiction where the investor resided. Number 2, the executor or administrator. The court will appoint an executor if named in the will, or an administrator if there is no will, to manage the deceased investor's estate. This individual will be responsible for identifying and valuing assets, paying off debts and taxes, and distributing the remaining assets to the heirs. Number 3, asset transfer. Real estate properties owned by the deceased investor will be transferred to their designated beneficiaries or heirs. This transfer may involve transferring the title of the properties to the heirs, or selling the properties and distributing the proceeds among the heirs according to the terms of the will or intestacy laws. Number 4, estate taxes. Depending on the value of the estate and the applicable tax laws, estate taxes may need to be paid before the assets can be distributed to the heirs. Real estate properties may need to be appraised to determine their fair market value for tax purposes. Number 5, inheritance taxes. In some jurisdictions, heirs may be subject to inheritance taxes on the assets they receive from the deceased investor's estate. The tax implications vary depending on the jurisdiction and the value of the inherited assets. Overall, the specific process for transferring real estate investor assets after their death can vary depending on factors such as the existence of a will, the complexity of the estate, and applicable laws. It's essential for real estate investors to have an estate plan in place to ensure their assets are distributed according to their wishes and to minimize any potential complications for their heirs. Consulting with a qualified estate planning attorney can help investors create a plan that meets their needs and goals. So, whether you're a seasoned real estate investor or just starting out, it's crucial to consider the future of your assets and have a solid plan in place for when the time comes. Thanks for watching our video, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more valuable insights.